Here we'll be looking at two articles. This one was written about 7 or 8 months ago, and that would place it shortly before Dumpsford started taking estrogen, but prior to that, he had supposedly been taking a testosterone blocker for about a year. Just to give some context going in. Now it starts, we're not freaks, we're not weirdos. The online community that watches people die. More than 200,000 people use Reddit to watch videos of death every day. Why? Can I make a request for the video of a suicide bomber failing over while riding a hoverboard and killing himself? So reads a comment in the subreddit Watch People Die, an online space, which is exactly what it sounds like. For 5 years, the forum has been a place for people to watch videos and GIFs of strangers dying and has now accumulated 240,000 subscribers. These subscribers, and perhaps many more followers who don't dare click subscribe, share deaths, upvote them, comment on them, and even make requests. It's nothing that you can't find in the mainstream media, said Reddit user T. Dumpsford, a moderator of the sub who deletes posts or comments that break its rules. The only difference is that they edit out the bit where someone actually dies and we don't. Watch People Die is a shocking sub, but it isn't a shock sub. Many online spaces that share death, such as the notorious website Rotten.com, are deliberately designed to shock with violent content that is often pornographic, scatological, or profane. Moderators like T. Dumpsford, who didn't want to give his real name, preferring to be identified by his username, have worked hard to keep the space different. It has more of a respectful tone to it than some of these other gore and death type subs. It didn't strike me so much as gawking as a genuine interest in the topic, explains the 46-year-old who lives in North Carolina and works in computer security. After his divorce, as something mentioned earlier, T. Dumpster got involved in Reddit and now enjoys acting as a moderator for a huge number of subs, of which Watch People Die is just one. In the afternoon and evenings, Reddit is pretty much a hobby for me. Since the divorce and stuff, I don't really have much of a social life anymore, he says, explaining that he has made friends on this site. What type of person enjoys watching people die every day, and why do they do it? These are the questions the sub immediately provokes, and something his community talks about often. Watch People Die Talk is a companion subreddit where people can discuss the sub, and a popular type of post is a user asking others why they watch the videos. I'm now aware of just how fragile human life truly is. They talk about someone else for a second here. Alright, now it gets back to him. We're not there to shock people and shake people up. It's a genuine attempt to display this particular aspect of reality in a world where people die every day, and it's something we all have to confront, explains T. Dumpsford. Listening to T. Dumpsford and Jeff justify visiting the sub is convincing, and it's theoretically easy to see how watching death can inspire a love of life. Yet visiting the sub will leave many immediately unsettled, even if you don't dare click play. Posts like truck runs over and visibly squashes a man, couple enjoying a glass of champagne are interrupted by a suicidal man landing near them, his head on fire, and dim-witted cops use taser on guy who poured gasoline all over himself can provoke an immediate visceral disgust. On Watch People Die Talk, requests for certain videos request car crash in India, child stuck in seat visibly bloody, spitting blood, fairly recent, are undeniably disturbing. I don't think we have a lot of weirdos who collect death videos on their PC, says T. Dumpsford. The majority of it is probably perfectly healthy, normal people who have, like I said, a genuine morbid curiosity or desire to learn about death. A survey undertaken on the site years ago found that many of its subscribers work in what T. Dumpsford calls the death industry, as first responders, morticians, coroners, or soldiers. At least half of our subscribers have some connection to this type of subject matter in their real life, he says. Though as the data is self-reported, it must be taken into consideration that users could easily lie. We don't get so many people who are in it for shock value. It's hard to quantify how many of the subreddit subscribers think like T. Dumpsford and Jeff. And as these were the users who are willing to speak with me over the phone, perhaps they're the most in tune with, or at least ashamed of, their motivations. The comments on Watch People Die Talk do show that many find watching people die helps them appreciate life. The sub also has a chat on Telegram. an anonymous messaging app. On here, things are undeniably gorier and more disturbing, with its 405 members sharing memes, jokes, and pictures designed to shock. I guess it comes with the territory, the nature of the subject matter. It's a really sensitive area, says T. Dunsford. You are literally watching other humans die, so I think a lot of other people are just trolling. T. Dunsford and his fellow moderators work hard to eliminate racism on the sub. It's almost predictable, like if a video features a black person or a Muslim dying, you're always going to get one or two jerks in the comments who are like, well, they deserved it or they had it coming. But that's not just true of our subreddit, that's true of Reddit, and I think the entire internet at large. Another moderator, Greed Eater, explains that we're basically just saying don't be a racist dickhead. Dark humor he explains, is fine, almost expected, but racism is not. With this political environment, with what's his face, that tan fucking Muppet Trump running the show, you get a lot of nationalists. Yet despite this, the most popular video ever shared and watched people die is entitled "Man Gets Run Over by Insane Girlfriend." In it, a man in a caftan is attacked by a goat. Beyond the racism and the Telegram groups, critics might also note that frequently watching people die could have a negative impact on mental health. Jeff says he nearly always regrets watching the videos, whereas T. Dumpster conversely feels desensitized. When I ask how many people he has seen die, he says, hundreds, at least, maybe thousands, I don't know, definitely hundreds. In the early day, I had trouble with some of the more brutal ones. Now, honestly, this is going to sound callous, and I don't mean it to be, but if you see a few ISIS beheadings, you've seen them all. T. Dumpster believes average people will have no problem visiting the sub too often, but warns that it could be detrimental to anyone who is unstable, suicidal, or in a dark place. Professor Mark McDermott of the University of East London recently carried out a study which suggested that being aware of your own mortality can be beneficial. Post-traumatic growth means people can grow psychologically from traumatic experiences, and McDermott says this theory means thinking about death can help us become psychologically stronger. Yet when I asked him what he thought of watch people die, he expressed concerns. I am doubtful that watching videos of death every day is necessary to cue mortality awareness in order to accrue any psychological benefits, he says. Indeed, I would have thought that if someone is doing this every day, then it possibly indicates a more morbid fascination with death that might be associated with social isolation and low mood states. McDermott expresses concern that those who frequently watch people die will become unfeeling towards videos, a process known as habituation. For people to orient positively toward mortality, I think it is more likely that reminders of the finitude of life need only be experienced intermittently, occasionally. There are clearly an array of motivations driving the users of Watch People Die. Many say the sub has helped them practically, so they take more care crossing the street or visiting dangerous countries, or, in T. Dumpster's case, checking that the elevator is actually there when the doors open. Some users are just curious. Others are trying to be edgy. Some may be sociopaths, some lonely, some isolated, addicted to gore. Am I a bad person for binge watching this thread? Asked a concerned commenter 2 months ago. I'd hit it up, then I drive more carefully and hug my children more. I am also thankful to be alive. It's life affirming to watch. A month earlier, different users had a markedly different exchange. After one shared a photograph of dead bodies after the Manchester Arena bombing, another replied, "That guy in purple got a nice ass crack." Perhaps the subreddit's myriad of users aptly reflects a myriad of ways it is possible to die. Part of me thinks it's naive to be like, whoa, what kind of sociopaths sit around and watch people like that, says Jeff, the Canadian user. But I also understand that some people don't have the mind that's interested in stuff like that and really can't fathom it. T. Dunsford concerns. We understand why we're here. We have a common interest in this subject matter. We're not freaks. We're not weirdos. At this point, he had been on testosterone blockers for a while, apparently. At best, it's occasional and eye-opening, and at worst, it's just morbid curiosity. His advice to any new users on the sub is to avoid ISIS and Mexican drug cartel videos. Instead, look at CCTV footage. I think people need to get comfortable with death because we're all going to die. I think it's probably all the better if you can learn to accept that and learn to appreciate life while you have it. So I think the desensitization, that could be in some ways valuable to people. So they learn to not fear so much and maybe embrace life a little bit more. And if you're really, really sensitive to that kind of thing, I mean, you're probably not going to be able to stare it down. Now, this is concerning a different Redditor. That seems to be a friend of Dumpsford's. Redditors are combating hate speech on the site with some well-intended trolling. Brilliant. Combating hate speech on the internet is no easy task, and it's one made even more difficult by the rise in xenophobic, racist rhetoric. With that in mind, a group of Redditors have started trolling hate groups on the popular discussion website and co-opting the conversations, turning forums about white supremacy into dialogues about laundry best practices. Alright, the Daily Beast reports a small group of Reddit power users have slowly but surely been taking control of previously harmful threads, as Reddit's rules permit new moderators to take ownership of the previous moderator of a subreddit has been inactive for a whole 60 days. Potential new moderators must then make a plea to administrators on Reddit requests to adopt it, provided there's a plan for guidance in place. That's exactly how Ayanna Drew Urquhart, a 40-something living in Los Angeles, close to San Francisco, well, not that close, but in the same state, commandeered white politics and whites and is now moderator for each. Once a haven for white supremacists to spout their vitriol, the discourse is now rather humorously focused on Swiss coffee and laundry, respectively. It's a hilarious. What's not to like, Urquhart asked the Daily Beast. Thankfully, many users seem to be in on the joke as well. Pro tip, it's also a good idea to separate white from red, one wrote in the laundry discussion. Now look at this. This is posted to White Politics. Hello, this subreddit is no longer about pro-white news. In fact, racism is now banned. The new topic of color is the color white, and the politics behind it. All hail the greatest of whites, Swiss coffee. And we can see this is Awkward Turtle, who was he was in the cuckolding Hot Wives subreddit that you saw in the first video. And I want to say, in recent months, their social platforms like YouTube and Facebook have stepped up their efforts to prevent hate speech as well. While YouTube has expanded what it defines as hate speech according to a variety and redirected those searching for extremist videos. God, I can't read all this shit. Well, I don't want to read all this shit. Here's a picture of her, and on crediting Reddit for helping her stay sane, Urquhart recounts how she had to bottle alt-right political commentator Milo Yiannopoulos for command of one of the subreddits. I told my admins that I would use my powers for good and bring back the original meaning and make it about bundles of sticks. I think that they're talking about faggots. Now, these two users, they actually know each other. If you look at Dumpsford's friends list on Twitter, you can see Ayanna Drew Urquhart over here, username Drewy Poodle. Again, you can see Awkward the Turtle, the moderator of the cuckolding subreddit. And if we look at their accounts, you can see that they're pretty similar. They share a few moderators in common, and there's actually a new account though. T. Dumpsford has a new account, and this is it. And let's see what they're saying. I want to point out. Look how easily they were able to get to these subreddits with millions of subscribers. Like, it's just because they're already part of the group. And let's see. He has his own little circle jerk with Joyous Cacophony, the politics subreddit moderator. You know, politics was the place where the HIV story was covered up. And look, he's on his own subreddit, and so is Awkward the Turtle. And let's see, here's Top Minds of Reddit. I mean, these are all places where Cherry Star Cream, where he's moderating now. Anti-LGBTQ Watch. Again, you can see Drewy Poodle that they share subreddits. They know each other, and I think here's another one that they're both on. They know each other, and watch people die. This is a weird amount of turnovers. It looks like it's weird that people don't seem to stay that long. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason for it. I don't care. Here's against hate subreddits. Here's Joyous Cacophony again. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. Anyway, here he is saying, I am Team T. Dumpsford. And let's look at what he's saying. My whole life has been leading up to this moment. The Barbie doll, the Judy Blume books, the cross-dressing, all leading up to this glorious moment. A post on transgender circle jerk and Violet paying attention to me. I have arrived. Hello, sisters. So he's doing this for attention. And, these people, they like to be ironic until they're all of a sudden very serious. And let's see what else they're saying. I just went back and upvoted everything ever posted to MTF. Am I trans now? Again, they're doubting whether they're actually trans. Oh, this comment. Can I chase my own tail? Again, narcissism. And here's this last one. I used the bathroom yesterday and no one said anything. How am I supposed to bitch and moan about my life if people accept me for who I am? And that doesn't sound like that much of an accomplishment just because no one says anything to you. I mean, it's just because they don't want to talk to him. I'm sure he knows that. Let me see what's on the last thing here. Oh yeah, here he is. Oh, I got you, boo. Just waiting for this damn orchiectomy. The anticipation kills me. PM me if you want. I'm also trying to get on a schedule, but it's not there yet. And if you look at his profile now, you can see he's having second thoughts. So transition is complicated. You imagine you'll just be pretty, like Imagine One. No, you work with what you have. Reality is messy, but we are all beautiful. You have to accept who you are. Well, you didn't really accept who you are. You tried to change yourself. That's why you're not doing so well. And the next one, growing up listening to blah blah. I don't want to read this shit. It's stupid. And then you can see more of his friends from Reddit on his Twitter friends list. And if you look, there's not a whole lot of feedback here. No one really wants to respond to him. He gets a few responses, but not much. And I think this guy just doesn't seem. Well, I think all this evidence together just shows that he's just not sane. And I kind of wonder why. I kind of question the intentions of this kind of his friends, because it seems like they might just be trolling him, and if he ends up in suicide, then I think that'd be quite sad if that happened.